Welcome to another edition of Squad Talks over coffee. Bryce Raley, one of the owners here at the Squad, and this week I've got Taylor Bishke out from behind the camera.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking about how different types of video can work for your business. Let's tune in. Welcome to another edition of Squad Talks over coffee. Bryce Raley, one of the owners here at the Marketing Squad, with Taylor Bishke, our media designer. And today I've just got a standard Marketing Squad mug, which we're working on a new version of these. Stay tuned. Taylor has...
Yeah, Coffee Crossings. I've never been there. They're up in New Albany, right?
They've got like 5 or 6 locations in southern Indiana. I happened to grab that mug a couple weeks ago on the way to a travel softball tournament, and I got a pack of their coffee. It's delicious. But yeah, they've got a great reputation over in southern Indiana. So
solid mug too.
It is. Those are my favorite kinds.
Yeah, like diner style.
Exactly. That's why we need this and that style.
They're good travel mugs for sure.
That's all we have for today.
All right.
No, just kidding. So jumping in, today's topic is how different types or forms of video can work for your business. And we thought, who better to come on the show and talk about that than Taylor Bishke, our very own
guy that
videographer.
Does the video.
Yeah. Last episode we had David Fishburne from Wirecrafters, the marketing manager there, on talking about how they use video in their marketing, how they've done it consistently over the last few years. So if you haven't seen that episode, go back and check it out. But this week we want to jump right in to the first question for Taylor, which is, what type of videos do we produce here at the Squad? And what types do people see out in the marketplace?
Yeah, mostly just SquadTalks is what we do.
Over coffee.
Yeah, over coffee. Yeah. No.
On Mondays, which by the way, we're shooting this on a Monday.
Yeah, they're not always consistently Mondays.
Well, I know, but this one is, so let's be better. But the good news is I did watch the Seinfeld episode last night where Kramer sets up the Merv Griffin set in his apartment, and he has his note cards. So I'm totally prepared. Even though it's a Monday, I'm totally prepared. So.
Okay, good.
All right.
Good. You've had a practice run.
Yes.
No, so we make all sorts of videos here at the Squad. We do what we call snack-sized videos. They're just really quick, typically social videos, a lot of brand awareness attributed to those. We do narrative videos. We've only done a couple of those, but they'd be interesting to get more into. It's more story-driven, not talking head. Not a lot of B-roll, but a lot of written narrative, kind of actors, that sort of thing.
I was going to say actual actors.
Yeah.
We actually had hired hands for one of those that we did. So,
exactly. Yeah. So we do the narratives. We do thought leaderships, which are similar to this, or like a TED Talk style video, or if it was, if you were presenting a seminar and you wanted that recorded, that would be a thought leadership style video. Our bread and butter here at the Squad is often the story videos. This covers a broad area of your business. It's a lot of history, what you do. There's a lot of times a little bit of a testimonial mixed in there, B-roll of your business, that sort of thing.
One interesting not to interrupt you and break your train of thought, but to interrupt you and break your train of thought, the 4-story videos that we've been talking about lately would kind of dig in further, which I love.
Yes.
And it's based on Kendra Hall's Stories That Stick series and book that she wrote. And it would be, instead of just one story video maybe that captures a lot of these components, we're starting to get more specific where we might focus in on the founder story, the customer story, the story of the purpose of the business, the why story, and then the value story, kind of value proposition. So I'm excited to kind of, we haven't totally rolled those out to where we're talking about them in our marketing. They're not on our website, but internally we've been talking about them for a while. And we've talked about doing them ourselves, which we always like to model the way when we can. So I'm excited about taking story video, which we've done well, and
doing
expanding
a deep dive in each area.
So if you could make that happen in this is Q4.
Okay, so, I'll get on that. Yeah, sure.
Don't leave this.
Oh.
We got to finish this first, but yeah.
Okay.
So back to your different...
So we've got how-to videos, which are maybe product videos, or we did one recently on an app, how to use the app for a client. And then you've got case studies, which are heavy testimonials. This is focusing on your customer, your client, telling everybody else how great you are. And then, as Bryce mentioned, you've got the four stories that kind of build the story videos, and so we're starting to get into those a little bit. So you've got the founder story, customer story, the purpose, and then the value story, which all kind of mesh together nicely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What's your favorite been so far that you've gotten to shoot? We'll get into a little bit later different things you've gotten to shot, things you'd like to shoot, kind of moving forward. But of those that you've mentioned so far, kind of what's been your favorite?
I think the how-tos are a lot of fun just because they can be so different depending on what the topic is, whether it's we've done one for kind of a razor company, and so that was very hands-on filming that way. And then, like I talked about, the app, so we've got a top-down shot of a phone and then laying over the screen over top of that. It's just it's the most varying of the videos that we do.
And it reminded me that I didn't shave today for this video, which is disappointing. It's disappointing that I forgot that. So
next time.
Yeah, I've had a clean look lately in these.
We'll get it in post. Yeah.
The segue there to me that makes a lot of sense is how you just talked about a bunch of different types of videos, and it's by no means
this isn't everything.
Exclusive list. I mean, there's all types of other videos that people use, but in our world, a lot of what we use, what we see, how do those fit into? And I'm going to describe this after I ask the question because not everybody understands this concept. But the flywheel of marketing, it's a HubSpot concept, or at least there's some agencies within HubSpot who may have kind of led that, but together in the whole world of HubSpot, there's this concept of the funnel changing to the flywheel. And when you think about a flywheel, in the middle, the circle is the customer. Around that, you've got your marketing, your sales, and your service. In the old inbound methodology terms, it's attraction, marketing, engagement, sales, and delight with your service. And so as you work around that flywheel, take a second and kind of work through how some of these different types of videos that you've just mentioned, and you just walk through how do they fit into that flywheel. Yeah,
for sure. So starting with the kind of snack size, brand awareness heavy videos, those are going to be early on in attraction, in the marketing part of the flywheel. You're just trying to show your potential client or customer what you're about, getting them familiar with your branding so that when they see something later, maybe you do a story video later, and the first thing they see is your logo, they can say, I recognize that, I vaguely know already what they do, and so it's a good building block for later videos or emails or what other kind of marketing you want to do. It's a good building block. The narrative is also going to be heavy brand awareness, but it kind of dives deeper into kind of the services you offer or the lifestyle that you want to offer your client or customer, how you can solve their problems. So it's going to get a little bit more into engagement, but it's still, I think, heavily in the marketing side of things. Then you've got the thought leadership, which is going to be, I think that's going to serve better in the engagement and sales, kind of showing the client or your customer more about you as a business owner or as a media designer or whatever it might be. You can show that person, the viewer, that you know what you're talking about.
It creates trust. One of our core values here at the Squad is trusted allies. Yeah. So when I think of thought leadership, I think of I trust you.
It's that empathy and authority kind of aspect of guiding them. And then you've got the story video, which is going to be a good all-around video. It's going to serve mostly in the marketing and sales aspect rather than the service. I think it can serve a little bit of service, telling them a little bit about what you do, but it's mainly going to serve to give a broad history and a little bit of testimonial and just get them ever more familiar as they start to dive into your product or service. They'll find this and learn more about you as a whole. The how-tos are going to be very much in the service and delight field. Typically, when you're looking up a how-to, you already own whatever it is, the service or the product, and so you want to know how to better use it. The how-tos are going to be the go-to for that.
So very operationally minded kind of tool. A lot of times. I mean, I still make the case that those can influence the sales process because sometimes people want to see how it works before they make that decision. So.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, we've been talking about HubSpot quite a bit lately, and we did a video recently with Aaliyah, and she was talking about their how-to videos and how helpful that is, and so I mean, it can certainly be a selling point if you have a product or a service that is this giant tool. That can be kind of daunting. So knowing that there are how-to videos and step-by-step processes and everything like that can serve as a selling method as well.
Would it be okay if I adjusted my leg since it's asleep?
Go for it.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
If you need to pause that or break that, we don't. This is all organic. This is rolling. We don't cut here. So the last on the list would be case studies.
Yeah. So this is going to be. I think this is going to be a lot of engagement and then a little bit of service as well. So on the engagement side, you're gonna learn from people that have used the service or product what's so great about it, or why they've enjoyed using it. And then on the service and delight side, maybe you see a case study about. Let's use us as an example. We did a case study with Don Robinson. He talked a decent amount about video. If a client we've got doesn't know that we do much video, that's going to serve as a sales tool for us.
Yeah.
And they start to learn that we do video as well, and they might reach out and we can serve them in that way.
Yeah, it helps you go deeper within your client base.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Good deal. Well, appreciate you jumping into in depth and video in these two areas. One thing that we do this sometimes on these squad talks, and sometimes we don't, but in this situation I think it makes total sense. We have Taylor out from behind the camera. Brooke is actually filling in, doing Taylor's better half.
Yes,
or
certainly.
Taylor's Brooke's better.
Oh, no,
however you want to do
you
that.
got that right.
Yeah. But since we've got you out from behind the camera, just to kind of talk about, just get to know you a little better and ask you some questions, put you on the spot a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, I've got a whole list of things here that I didn't tell you that I was going to ask you that I will.
Great.
But no, just what are some of your favorite things that you've been able to do with video with the squad, and then also kind of what some cool things that you are excited about doing moving forward, some vision, brain kind of. So.
Yeah. Videos allowed me to, at least in regards to our clients, kind of embed myself with them in their space, right? It's I've got to be in front of the person in order to film them, and film their space and how they operate and everything like that. And so it's been kind of interesting going to the different clients' locations and getting to know them personally.
You always have a VIP pass, is basically
right,
what you're saying.
Exactly, yeah. We've got one client who's got like thumb key access to places, and I've been in their system for a while, and so I just walk right in now.
Retina scans, thumb keys.
They know I'm coming most of the time. But yeah, it's really good to really get ingrained in our clients and what they do and better tell their story.
One thing that we hear a lot from clients about Taylor is that he's got a great eye and he's great at directing and just kind of putting people at ease, getting people going. So to me, that's a cool attribute that you've got, a cool talent you've developed and honed. And so I just wanted to take a minute to say that. But in terms of, back to the other question, the vision, what are you excited about where we might go with video in the rest of 2020 and heading into 2021?
Yeah. I like the idea of doing more narrative videos. Honestly, we haven't done too many of them, and I'd love to hone in on that and get to do them really well. And the process is fun of writing out where you want the video to go, and then storyboarding that, and so you've got more control over the shots that you get, and then being able to to tell a compelling story
Mm-hmm.
and have a lot of control over it too. That's kind of appealing.
Sure.
It's just very different than I think a lot of people default to. Right? A lot of people default to sitting in front of the camera and talking and telling about themselves, but I think if you can tell it in a compelling narrative way, I think that kind of hits on a different level. Not necessarily better or worse, but
Sure.
like we've talked about, it serves differently depending on how you want to communicate.
I think we hit on this a little bit maybe in the video last time with David, maybe in previous videos, but talk about a little bit how you've had to just be really flexible during COVID, during these uncertain times.
Yeah, these uncertain times.
Just to capture video in all different types of ways.
Early on, I mean, we didn't pivot quickly early on, and so I didn't have a ton of work when we first got into it, but then Wayne actually came up with this great idea of shooting Zoom calls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Recording those and then editing those. In these trying times, people are very familiar with that kind of look.
Yeah.
Looking into a monitor and seeing somebody look back at you in that very Zoom or Google Hangouts kind of way.
Yeah.
So we started doing interviews that way and recording them and then editing them, and we would either use B-roll that we've already captured, or if it was a new client and I could capture footage with Brooke in our house, then I did that a couple times. So Brooke has snuck her way into a few client videos that way. But yeah, I mean, we've had to shift the way that we do things, and I think it's made us a better agency. That way, I don't want something like this to happen again, but if it were, we would pivot easier, or if something different came up, maybe we'd be in that mindset already.
Yeah, that was a great example. What you and Wayne did in those scenarios, of the like creative problem solver record value that we've got here at the squad. So it was cool to see, and the nimble, kind of flexible, responsive nature of how we did that. We'll just it might not be that exact thing next time, but we'll be thinking that way. So it's pretty cool. So what's Taylor do for fun, real quick, before we wrap this up? What's pre-COVID?
Yeah.
What did you use to do?
Back in the olden days.
What will you do in the future, maybe again?
Yeah.
I know you eat Royals chicken. You go to Monic.
Monic is great. Yeah, we bought our house where it is because it's between Monic and the Post, and we can walk to either of them on a whim, which is fantastic. Yeah, food, right?
Yeah.
Food is the answer. What do I do for fun? Brooke is a fantastic chef and baker, and I'm sure
She is.
Yeah,
yes.
Bryce has mentioned it a couple times, so it's a good hobby.
And the other thing that you didn't know that I was going to plug today is Taylor's got a side hustle doing some woodworking. Is it all furniture, or is it just making the tables that you're focused in on?
It could be all
is
furniture.
Is that your niche?
You what?
Tables your niche?
No.
Niche.
Niche,
Also known as niche.
Yeah, all sorts of woodworking, whether it's tables or bookshelves, or we recently did a pegboard for a company here in Louisville.
Cool.
So yeah, all sorts of stuff. Proof Furnishings is what it is. So
I just learned the name myself today. This is groundbreaking stuff. Well, before we jet today, I want to give Taylor a chance to plug the squad on.
Yeah, go subscribe to our YouTube channel. There will be more videos like this. Our Facebook gets these videos as well, and then of course our LinkedIn is more of a personal approach with some of the members of the squad, but it's going to be on there as well. So keep an eye out.
And we appreciate you guys joining us again, and stay tuned for the third video in this little series we're doing on video, rolling out here in the next few weeks.